first and foremost, something that I want to get out of the way before I start this podcast is that I do not care if the people on the that are in the Epstein list who hurt uh, little children and young women. Uh, I don't care whether they're Democrat, Republican, Independent, Communist, Fascist. I don't give a fuck. They need to go. They need to be arrested and they need to be removed from their office and they need to face due process and get justice. Uh, have justice served. The women that are that were victimized by these fucking nasty creeps deserve justice. And Donald Trump's Justice Department has taken down almost 38,000. I'll just say over 30,000, 37,000 uh, uh, pages from justice.gov. So, due to the fact that I have downloaded that, if you would like to read the Epstein files that were released, redacted, released, uh, taken back, if you want to go and see the ones that were released, I believe the second time where they after they released pretty much everything other than uh, a few compared to the rest pages. I wonder why. That was me being a smartass. It's obviously because Donald Trump's likely involved. Not even likely. I will say allegedly involved. But we need to. Donald Trump needs to uh, be put in front of a judge so that we can decide whether it was alleged and wrong, or whether he is guilty of doing what he is accused of doing by these women. And this is my thing. First and foremost, I'm going to always believe women or kids or anybody that come up to me and say, I've been sexually assaulted. I would be like, I'm so sorry. Do you need somebody to talk to? And if that person wanted to talk, I would talk with them. If they wanted to tell me what happened, who did it, I would do my best to find the nearest police station and get them involved um, if the victim wanted me to. I would do that on their behalf. And I believe anyone listening to this show would as well. But there are some really sick, twisted, and demented fucks in the United States government, and we need to vote them out. Who, if they're in the Epstein list, and the reason why I said if they're in the Epstein list and it's for doing bad things is because there are a lot of articles that have politicians' names in them, but it's a nothing email. It basically is like, hey, here's this link from this article, and Hillary Clinton's name or whomever, just person A's name was in there due to that, and that's it. So yeah, I wanted to have this disclaimer before I started. It's a little bit long-winded one, but hopefully, you're driving to work and you need a buddy to listen to. I'm always going to be that for you. But if you would like to see the Epstein files, I have them downloaded. I'm going to put them up on deweyshow.com. You're welcome to download them yourself or do whatever you like with them. All right, folks, I love you. Here I am for the Dewey Show. Good morning, folks, or whatever time you're listening to this. This is Dewey. I'm going to be talking today about pretty much exclusively Donald Trump's really misguided attack on Iran and what it could possibly look like for us, okay? Before I get going, though, I ask you to please like, follow, subscribe, whatever the case is on your chosen platform. And I also have a sponsor with AdamEve.com. AdamEve.com, they've become, they've merged. So AdamandEve.com and AdamMail.com are no longer really separate, which I think I'm a big fan of because, look, sex is sex, right? And whether you have it with a person that's the same gender as you or not, it doesn't matter. You should be able to buy these amazing toys, right? And they are adult toys, and there's all kinds of stuff on this website, AdamEve.com. That's ADAMEVE.com. Not Adam and Eve, but AdamEve.com, because they updated their website. And what's amazing is they have combined the shops as I mentioned, and that gives users, you great folks, it gives you a large variety, like a much bigger variety than what you had before. And what's even more cool is exclusive to Dewey Show listeners, AdamEve.com will give you 50% off of almost any one item, as well as free and always discreet shipping. What you have to do is go to AdamEve.com. That's ADAMEVE.com. And at the end, when you're checking out, you'll see a little box toward the bottom. It says offer code. Type in Dewey. And that'll unlock that discount, the 50% off and free shipping. 50% off of almost every one item, as well as free shipping, I should have said. And that is spelled DEWEY. So head over to ADAMEVE.com. Use offer code DEWEY at checkout. It helps the show. It helps me out. And I want to try to get this podcast going again. I don't know if you're new. I don't know if you've been a loyal listener. Either way, I'm very glad to have you here. Donald Trump, as we all know by now, ordered a large-scale bombing in Iran, killing Iran's Ayatollah. Now listen, I'm not going to shed tears over this dude, the Ayatollah. He wasn't a good guy, you know. He's a large reason that my fellow members of the LGBTQ community have been fucking murdered, because being gay is the death penalty there. And there are people in this country, in the United States of America, that want the same thing. Except for they don't want it. They want Sharia law, basically, without the Muslim religion, or without the Middle East. They want their own Christian fascist, I don't know, a version of the law. And if we don't all go and vote, now listen, if you're a former Donald Trump voter, you're welcome here. You're not gonna like everything I have to say, because listen, it's you folks that got us here, you know. And I know for a fact that I tried my hardest, my damnedest, to tell you folks what Donald Trump was going to be doing to our country. I would talk about it ad nauseum. And I just don't know what to do to help someone who, not help, but I have an easy time being, how did Ruth Bader Ginsburg put it? You can disagree without being disagreeable, I believe is how she put it. And I kind of take that, you know, and I have some of my favorite family members are Trump supporters. They don't support him right now, I know that much, because inflation is going up like fucking crazy. Our economy is, like, at any time, it's going to just, this bubble is going to pop, and we're just so fucked and back to 2008. So when 2028 comes along, those who formerly voted for Donald Trump, you atone yourself. And like, when I was little, when I would tell my dad I'm sorry, and he would accept he would forgive me the first time I said sorry, but I would go and do the same exact thing, and I would say sorry. And after the first time, he said, "You're not sorry, because you continue to do it. The only way I will believe that you're actually sorry is if you stop doing what I tell you not to do." And that, to me, that stuck to me. I think he told that to me when I was about 7. And that has stuck with me my whole life. Sorry is an empty gesture, it's an empty word unless you show the person that you are apologizing to that you have changed, right? So, Trump voters in 2028, not even that, in 2026, vote blue or uh, vote for the person who I'll put it this way: vote for the person who is least like Donald Trump in your primaries. Vote Democrat, and we there are Democrats too that we need to clean house with, but um, and get them away from their post. But like Chuck Schumer, for example, he has not he almost he almost tried. I believe he tried to get Democrats to vote yes for the funding of ICE, which um, a lot of people on the left aren't, and on the right now aren't fans of. And because these people, ICE, they're going in and they're taking children, they're taking the elderly. They've killed 3 Americans, I believe. Uh, and by the time you hear this, that number has probably gone up. I will say this: there's been, I think, actually now that I think about it, there's been 4 high profile killings by ICE. And I just want to specifically right now talk about Renee Good. I watched that video and I analyzed every little frame in that video. And when the ICE agent begins, uh, literally he's had his hand on his gun this whole time, but he literally begins pulling his gun out while she's in reverse. She's reversing, and it is a war crime for a soldier, Marine, whatever, to kill somebody as they're trying to retreat. And backing up, and her saying, "I forgive you, man. Don't worry, I forgive you, man." Something to that effect. She obviously was not there to harm anyone. And the horrible stunt that the shooter caused or did was absolutely horrific and stupid. And he basically threw himself in front of that car, or because he had plenty of time to move, and she wasn't going toward him. Pull. She was trying to back up because the agent was in the very front of her car. If she would have went forward, she would have done what they claim she did, and it would have been a terroristic charge. Personally, I think, had she gone forward, but she didn't. She started going backwards, and she was trying to back out and go away from these people. She was trying to get away from them, and she wasn't. She wasn't detained properly, legally, or I don't even think they said, "Hey, we're going to detain you." I don't think it was anything like that. I think that they came up and talked to her because she wasn't happy about what they were doing. Now, like I said, I've watched the video of her killing, of her homicide, I should say, because I believe, like the Constitution says, I believe that due process is absolutely something that everyone on American soil should get. You can have due process and move. You can have due process and be speedy with your movements as well at the same time. It's not crazy for that to happen. And now, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, by the way, if you go back into the Dewey Show library and find an episode where I'm talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene or Lauren Boebert, I use some pretty colorful language because they acted so stupid. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I said this kind of from when I first started, I said, I don't buy that she's this stupid, that she's allowing herself to act and look this stupid. I don't believe that that's her. She's far more tough and conniving. And she's left MAGA, I think, because they're not America first enough. And I agree They're not America first right now. What they are Donald Trump first. And that's what they will always be. They're not pro you, they're not pro me, they're not pro anything. They are pro Donald Trump, and that is it. That's all they care about, and that's all that they want is Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump has cultivated so many people that it's literally going to take us probably on the good side. It's going to take us 50 years, I think, if we're lucky. And if we're lucky again, that the earth has not been obliterated by that in 50 years, either by climate change or war. Remember, no new wars? That was a beautiful thought, wasn't it? Um, I don't know. And I don't understand where these folks think that Donald Trump's this peaceful man. You look at his first term, he did fucking bombings all the time, uh, often without Congress's knowledge. Um, and anyway, he needs to be impeached and removed from office. Uh, Simply due to the fact that Donald Trump is too old and unhealthy for this job, according to doctors and nurses that I follow. Um, I want to share a little bit of something with you folks that literally almost nobody knows about but my circle of loved ones, right? And that is that Donald Trump has, like, it's called like extreme venous suppressant or some shit like that, where basically your veins are shot. They're not going to send enough blood to your foot, and what ends up happening is your leg and your foot and your ankle start to swell up. And mine did exactly the same thing, but it was my primary care physician said, well, that's because, Dewey, that I think it might be happening from anxiety and stress, and I actually barely have been working really hard at it, and I've actually got my leg down, um, but and I'm getting healthier, so I hope that continues. But Donald Trump also recently, it was yesterday, if you're listening to this on the 3rd, after I record it, um, he has this red rash like thing on his neck. And if you don't know, just Google Trump rash. Probably don't Google that. I would put Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. Be very specific. Because you don't want Don Jr.'s fucking OnlyFans to pop up or something. But I'm joking. I'm joking. Don Jr. probably doesn't have an OnlyFans. Um, I don't know. But you can hear it in my voice. I'm just so fucking tired of this. And literally every other American feels the same as me. I mean, except for Trump supporters. They're going to support him while our country's burnt entirely down to ash. They would still support him. And that's what's horrible about this. There's really nothing that we can do, because we've literally we've talked to the people, hoping to change hearts and minds. And you gain a following from doing that, and I got a little bump in a following after I made it known that if people are preaching behind the pulpit, preaching politics behind the pulpit, rather, that there's an IRS form where they can be reported for that, form 13909. And I made a video how to fill it out, and I actually gained a lot of followers and actually real life friends after this. So that video was a blessing, and honestly, I thought it would get maybe 100 views, but it's my highest viewed video on TikTok, and I believe it's at like 500,000 views. And that to me is just fucking baffling. There are countries that have less people there, like our friend Greenland, not our 51st state or territory. Not that. They are our ally, as Denmark is. and they're sovereign and they need to stay that way. The same with Canada. Canada has been our ally for so long that the way that Donald Trump has treated their kindness, their hospitality, and their love with Americans, and this is how we pay them back. And Donald Trump said, well, Denmark does nothing for NATO. Well, that's bullshit, because they sent more people per capita than anyone else has. Than anyone else did. Actually, no, I believe that was the UK, because Donald Trump was saying that the UK is just not. He doesn't know if they would stick by us if we were attacked, and he's purposefully alienating us because he wants this. He wants what's best for him, folks. He doesn't want what's best for this country, and that can be. You look at his first day in office after being sworn in at noon. By 5 o'clock, he is at a podium talking about a new coin that he just made a bunch of money on, and that you can now invest in. Blatantly breaking the emoluments clause, blatantly violating the Hatch Act. The Hatch Act is basically like you can't use, even though you're the President of the United States, you cannot use the office of the President of the United States to run a campaign. Which basically means, like, if you're president, you can't, make videos in the Oval Office or even the White House. Or a lot of people believe that even them standing behind a presidential seal violates the Hatch Act. I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to tell you what I think because it doesn't matter. I'm just some dope, But, yeah, I don't know. I just felt like if I didn't come on here and just talk about this, that I don't know, that I feel like I'm complicit in all of it, and trust me, I'm not. Trust me, I will be going to vote as soon as I possibly humanly can. But anyway, folks, I love you. Thank you so much for listening, and if you have a minute, would you please think about supporting the Dewey Show on Patreon? If you go to patreon.com /Dewey Show, you can become a member. There's different tiers and different rewards for what you choose to do. There's also content on there that's going to be free for everyone. For example, I upload my podcast on there an hour early. That's one of the perks. Or I think it's a couple hours early. I don't remember exactly what I put. But immediately after that, it goes public, and so Patreon is where you're going to find most of my, going forward, it's going to be where you find most of my content the earliest. So even if you're not even if you can't support monetarily, you can follow without having to support, I believe, because that's how I think that I've set it up. I don't know for a fact that I got it all right. I hope I did. Let me know if there's any issues, you run into any issues. You can hit me up at deweyshow@aol.com. Yeah, I have an AOL. What do you want me to say about it? No, but all right. I love you, folks. You have a great day. Thank you for listening.